Happy to have you all here. Welcome to Just Ask JT, the live podcast where I answer any and all of your job search questions live here. I am on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. I am on LinkedIn. I am on YouTube. So happy to be here with all of you. Really, really, really important for those of you that are on TikTok. This is my YouTube and my LinkedIn people. I love you. You're good to go. Hopefully you're already following me here. My TikTokers. If TikTok gets banned January 19th, you're going to want to follow me on LinkedIn or YouTube in order to keep watching the live stream. So if you're not following me on those platforms, please do, okay? Go over to LinkedIn, type in JT O'Donnell, you'll find me. Same thing with YouTube, type in Work It Daily. That's our platform. Would love to see you all there. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, just wanted to get that out of the way. Today, we're talking about 3 reasons why you should not use AI to build your resume. You heard me. Yeah, it sounds super cool and sexy and hot and awesome. And you're like, absolutely, I'm going to game the system. I'm going to use AI and I'm going to land that next job, especially when there's all these people out there, all these hacks out there telling you to use these tools. I'm here to tell you, we don't create and write our resume using LinkedIn now or using AI. Now, can you use AI to proofread your resume? Sure, to make sure that you have no typos. But I want to talk about the actual concept of writing your resume using AI and why it is a really bad idea right now. Okay. Now, why am I qualified to share this with you? Well, I used to work in the staffing and recruiting industry. Okay. I spent the last 20 years teaching you all what's happening over there, helping you understand what recruiters look for, what hiring managers use, and more importantly, the technologies they use in order to select you. So you're all very familiar with ATS systems, applicant tracking systems, all those systems that when you apply for a job, you go into this system and they evaluate you, right? Well, that's not the only technology that they use. They also use technology to figure out who's the right person for the job. And that's what we're going to get into right now, okay? Because I'll be honest, AI is speeding up the death of the resume because recruiters don't trust them anymore. So many people are gaming the system using AI tools. It is completely messing with recruiters. And I'm going to explain the scenario that recruiters are up against today so that you can understand that. See, people are going in and they're saying, all right, here's a job description, match my resume to that job. So what AI does is it literally rewrites your resume to be an exact match for that job, regardless of whether or not you are a match, regardless. So this is where the lying starts. It lies to create this resume for you. All right. Now you get through that ATS system for once. So you're like, yeah, but JT got me through the ATS system. Okay. So now that recruiter, and this is what they've been doing for the last year, sees the resume and goes, look at this person. They're an exact match. Let me take one of my very valuable time slots and set up an interview with them. They get on the phone with you and they start asking you questions about your resume. And you know what? You can't answer them because you didn't make the resume. So they start tripping you up, right? It says here you did this. And you're like, it does? Because you didn't develop the resume. So you can't remember what's on it, especially when it's literally changed what it said about you. So now you sound like you aren't who you say you are in that interview. You've now wasted that recruiter's time and they know you lied. And so because so much of this has happened, companies are now using special tools to determine whether or not a resume was AI generated. You heard me. They're starting to use technology to figure that out. I will also tell you that I have talked to recruiters who will take one look at a resume and say, I can tell it was AI generated. I'm not going to bother. That is what's happening right now. So here are the 3 reasons. I think you picked them out from that little scenario I gave you. Number 1, the resume that AI will create when you're trying to match it to a job will often lie about you. And that is not good because number 2, even if you get past the ATS system, if they get on the phone and can figure out you don't know your resume, and you won't, they'll trip you up. You now look like a liar and you will be put on a list to never be hired by that company again. It'll be noted, just so you know. And number 3, as a result of this, companies are taking one look at certain resumes and going, that was AI generated, and tossing them. You heard me. They're getting thousands of applicants. And they're like, why are we getting thousands of applicants? Because people are using AI systems to create fake resumes that are stuffing their inbox. Trust me, I talk to recruiters on a weekly basis about that. I listen to recruiting podcasts where this is their number one complaint right now, the amount of bogus AI generated resumes they are getting. So, your solution is to create your own skimmable resume. Okay, a resume that is skimmable, that can be looked at in 6 seconds, and a recruiter can go check, 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 check. This person has all the basics I was told to look for. So let me look a little closer at their resume. And it's in a format that they know you had to complete. Okay, it's saved in a PDF and sent to them. This is the secret sauce that is working right now for job seekers, especially when they can back channel, not network, back channel their way in to somebody in the organization in order to get the resume directly in the hands of the hiring manager instead of going through the ATS and going to the recruiter. But if you're going to use AI on your resume, it is to proofread it only. Don't let it change things. Don't sit there and create a fake resume, folks. I am telling you, it is not in your best interest, especially if there's a company you really want to work for. Your better bet is to work the back channeling method with a 6-second resume in order to get seen. And they're like, oh, look, this person did their resume the right way. Oh, great. They're a match. Let me get on the phone and talk to them. And because you developed in their resume, and the 6-second resume takes under 30 minutes to build, by the way. So don't tell me you don't have time. Okay. The 6-second resume takes less than 30 minutes to build. So now you've got this resume and you get on the phone, you built it. You know what's on it. You sound authentic. You move forward in the process. Does that make sense to everybody? Really important that we understand this right now. It is a competitive job market, and I get it. You want to use every hack you think is available, and AI is sexy and hot and the thing everybody wants to use right now. But do not be fooled. It is the nemesis of recruiters right now, people using AI to generate their resumes. And you now have a competitive advantage to use the techniques that I just shared, back channeling, 6-second resume, right? In order to stand out against all these people that they are so frustrated with. Okay. And if you don't believe me, go ask a recruiter friend of yours that's sitting there pulling their hair out because they're getting 1,000 applicants in 24 hours for a job, 90% of which aren't a fit, but have sent them bogus resumes. This is a thing. It really is. And so I'll just finally say there's always those snarky people that say, well, they deserve it. You know, they don't deserve it, folks. Recruiters don't deserve this, and you don't deserve this broken system. You know, no, I don't think either side, job seeker or recruiter, deserve the mess that is the application process right now. Nobody's winning. And the good news is this is all changing very quickly, because the name of the game in 2025 will be authentication, a way to authenticate you are real, you are who you say you are, you can do what you say you can do, and a way for you to authenticate that the job is real, that the company is real. Authentication is such a hot term right now in the space because of the fact that it will allow for better matching and better results for both sides, right? No more ghosting of jobs, no more scams that you're dealing with. Going forward, there'll be a way for both sides to authenticate themselves in order to move the process forward effectively. So you want to learn more about authentication, stick with me because I'll be showing it to you every step of the way. But I hope what you just learned right now is we're not going to use AI to write our resume, because you might think it's easy. You might think it's a time saver. You might think you're gaming the system. And I'm telling you, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. Okay. Awesome. All right. Now that I got that little rant out of the way, that topic out of the way, I'm here to take your questions. All right. So if you have questions, let me know. Let's see, whatever questions you have, job search, career related, I'm happy to take them for you. Let's see. Have you seen a lot of people use career highlights PowerPoints for upper manager or leadership roles? Yeah, that's really interesting. So if you are in an upper leadership role, upper management, higher level executive, you might think that you should put together a presentation about yourself. And we never put together something we're not asked for. The one tool that is working very well right now is something called a job matching matrix. So the big challenge that they have is taking your resume and matching you to the job. Because what do they have to do? Kind of hunt all over the resume to see if you have this experience, this qualification, that qualification. The job matching matrix is a tool that we developed at Work It Daily that lets our clients say, okay, let's organize the job description by requirements and let's match ourselves up requirement by requirement. And then we take this document, because we've built the template, and we send it over to them and say, here's how I'm an absolute 100% match for your job. So when you do that, that's how you're able to say, okay, great. Look, I'm a match at this higher level. And I'll tell you, it's like, we've gotten so many clients interviews using the job matching matrix. They just keep getting told, this is so nice. It's so much easier to figure you out. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Right now, when it's so challenging and overwhelming, and like I just said earlier, recruiters are getting so many fake resumes, right? AI generated resumes. To get a job matching matrix that literally shows how you're a match is so nice to them, because it's comparing apples to apples, and it makes it very easy for them to have a conversation with you about your skills and abilities. It just makes the whole process work more smoothly. So if I was an executive level person right now, I wouldn't waste my time on building PowerPoints that nobody's asking for. I would invest my time in building a master job matching matrix that I can easily tweak and send off to show them I'm a 100% match for the job. Yeah. Yeah. What percent match do you recommend in order to apply for a certain job? Okay, so folks, let's be really clear. If you're going to apply online for any job, you need to be 100% match in this market. Not an 80, not a 70, not 120, not 150, 100% match. And let me explain why. When you have a job market as competitive as this one, where there are literally hundreds and thousands of people just like you, companies sit in the driver's seat and they can get exactly what they want. Exactly. So they're not going to overpay for someone that's overqualified, and they're not going to pay for someone who's underqualified. They want an exact match. So if you're going to apply online, the only jobs you apply to is where you're 100% match. And going back to what I just talked about earlier, a job matching matrix can be one way to make sure and validate you are a 100% match for the job. So you should be making sure of that. Now, if there's a job you really want and you're only an 80% fit, you can still go after that job, but not by applying online, because applying online is going to get you tossed. What you have to do instead is back channel your way and use some other tools to lead with. Because if you lead with, I'm an 80% match for the job, they're going to be like, nope. Okay, you just screened yourself out. If you lead with, here's my connection story. Here's why I am so deeply connected to what you do. Here's what's going to get me up out of bed every day and crush it for you. Now they have a feeling and a reaction to you. Okay, now they feel connected to you. Once people have feelings towards you, they are far less likely to screen you out. They would rather screen you in. This is human nature. And this is one of the secret sauces to the Work It Daily strategy that we teach. We teach you to lead with connection. Because if you lead with connection and they feel something for you, now you have a much statistically higher chance of getting them to consider you, even though you're not 100% matched, because what? They love your story. They love how you're connected to them. You get them. You're one of them. This is the thing. And this is why, if you're not 100% match, you need to be leveraging the connection story and the back channeling, not networking, back channeling techniques in order to get in front of them and build that connection so they will consider you for the job. And I'll tell you, even with that strategy, you're still going to need to be an 80% match in this market. At this point, they have their pick of candidates. And so while they might have some wiggle room to take you, even though you're not 100% match, anything lower than an 80%, there's too many people that are already a match out there for them. So 80% or higher, I want you back channeling and connection story and leading with that. And if you're applying online, you can apply only if you're 100% match. And now I'm going to say all that and remind you of something. Right now, 97 to 99% of all applications are rejected. Let me say that again. For every 100 applications that go in, 97 to 99 of them are rejected. You have a 97 to 99% rejection rate chance when you apply online. Tell me what thing in your life you do where those are the odds. That is why applying online doesn't work right now. In this market, even though that's what they tell you to do, just because they tell you to do something doesn't mean it's what's getting you hired, okay? Back channeling, connecting, those are the things that are working in this market. And so the sooner you accept that and the sooner you learn it, the better. Which leads me to an important lesson today, which is called the difference between unproductive discomfort and temporary productive discomfort. Do you know the difference between the two? If not, stay here. All right, unproductive discomfort. This is where you're miserable in what you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you are not getting any results. That is the majority of people in job search right now. I mean, admit it, right? You get up every day, you dread it. You're so angry about it. Nothing's working. You keep applying. You spray and pray, apply to everything. You do this, like everything, nothing's working. Okay. Unproductive discomfort. What I want to put you in is temporary, meaning not forever. Productive, meaning it gets you results. Discomfort, meaning you're going to learn something new. My definition of discomfort is teaching you something new and having you do it. And I can't tell you how many people are going to listen to this and go, sure, JT, and then keep doing the unproductive discomfort. Come on, you know you are. When are you going to stop the insanity? When are you going to care about yourself enough to say, what I'm doing isn't working? It's time that I try something new. And it won't be forever, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to learn something new, temporary, productive, learn something new, discomfort, taking you out of your comfort zone. That is what we do at Work It Daily. That's the truth. That's the reality. Whether you like it or not, you need a little personal training. You need a little support in order to get you the results you're looking for. And so when you're ready for that, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Majority of you today are just going to keep on blindly doing what you're doing. You're not going to get results. You're going to get more and more frustrated. About 2 out of 10 of you today, I do the math daily, about 2 out of 10 of you today are going to say enough is enough. I'm willing to try JT's temporary productive discomfort. And you're going to go over and you're going to grab a 7-day free trial and work with me. That's it. You're going to go to workitdaily.com, links in the bio, or just search Work It Daily. And you're going to get a 7-day free trial, no risk. And you're going to work with me for 7 days. And I'm going to show you how to fix your problem. That's it. So for my 2 out of 10 today, can't wait to work with you. Going to be awesome this week. Get on over there. Let's work together free for 7 days. Okay. For the rest of you, you can stay in unproductive discomfort for as long as you want. But one of these days, you're going to realize, you're going to remember this conversation and go, it's time. It's time I put myself in temporary productive discomfort and finally get some results. Awesome. Wonderful. I love it. Love it. So let's talk about interview prep. Okay. So first of all, I can't even begin to emphasize how important interview prep is right now. I can't even begin to tell you all that if you aren't doing interview prep, you are literally sabotaging yourself. Because at this level, when there's that much talent out there, the only way you win is by coming across as the must-have candidate. Not the nice-to-have candidate, the must-have candidate. Not the vitamin, the aspirin. That is the difference. If you don't understand how to do that, you will not stand out. You will not get the job. And so a lot of people will say to me, oh, I know how to interview JT. I know how to be friendly and say polite. It's not enough. That's nice to have. That's not must have. In this market, the must have candidate knows how to articulate how they save money, how they make money, how they solve problems, how they alleviate pain. And they translate that all to the people that are interviewing them so that those people are going, ooh, yeah, I want to save money. I want to make money. We want to get rid of problems. We want to get rid of pain. Yeah, this is the person we need. Now, notice I said articulate. There are very specific things you need to say in a job interview that help them understand that. You might think it's implied. You might think what you're saying is implied. It's not. You need to make it black and white, very clear that you save money, make money, solve problems, alleviate pain. So you need to talk about those things. And the way that you talk about those things is with a framework called experience plus learn equals grow. So when we talk, we want to sound intelligent. We want our answers and our responses to sound structured. We want to give the right amount of information. Too little information, we seem like we don't know what we're talking about. Too much information, we seem desperate, narcissistic, confused, flighty, right? You want to be right down the middle. You want to sound like an authority because you're giving the right amount of information. And the structure is, here's what happened, experience. Here's what I learned from that experience. Learn. Here's how I'm going to use that to help your company grow. Experience plus learn equals grow. This is a method I've been teaching for 2 decades that transforms people's interview skills, because they go in and they've been the nice to have candidate, right? They think they said the right thing and they leave and they go, yeah, they really liked me. They were really kind. It was really pleasant. It was awesome. I'm moving forward. And then they don't move forward. And that's because they didn't articulate the layout, experience, learn, and grow, and talk about problems, pain, money. When you talk about those things in that format, you are validating the benefits that you, the business of one that's selling yourself to them, you are telling them, here are the benefits. Here's the return on the investment. Here's why it's worth every penny to pick me, to buy me, to purchase me and my work and my services, right? That's what this is. And way too many people are going into interviews right now going, well, if I'm just really nice and pleasant and I say the right things, it's going to work. No, it's not, because they're paying you thousands of dollars to do a job. Prove it. Give them the proof that you can do what you say you can do, that you will save the money, make the money, solve their problems, alleviate their pain. And so if you are not doing interview prep right now around that structure, that is a problem. That is 100% a problem. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. How I was let go in my last job. How can I speak to that? And what details should I share? Ooh, okay. All right. So folks, when you've been let go from your last job, when you've been fired, not laid off. Okay. So laid off is out of your control. It usually involves multiple people and you can speak to that. So if you've been laid off in a job and they ask why you left, you can say I was part of a layoff. There were, 27 people laid off. I was one of them. That's it. Okay. If you were let go for cause or performance, now we've got something different to explain. Okay. And this is where it's important to step back and try to learn from what happened to you. And not only learn from it, but pull out something called the MOA, the moment of accountability. Now, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I understand that a lot of these situations are very complex, plenty of situations where there's, toxic people involved. I get it. These situations are complex. My team and I every single day work with people through why they got let go from a job, whatnot, right? We have to work through and unpack that. But what you also have to do is get to a place where you can very calmly and objectively talk about it. Because if you don't get to a place where you're not emotional about it, it will come through. And you might think, no, I'm a great liar in interviews. I don't care what you say. I can spot it. I do phone calls every single day with people, and I can spot it when somebody was fired from their last job and they're trying to hide it from me. And it happens a lot, mind you. It's funny. I'm their coach and I'm like, you can tell me anything. I'm not here to judge. And they'll still try to lie to me about it. I'll be like, something's not adding up. And I'll ask another question, and I'll pick at it. And then finally they come clean. And I was like, look, how hard was that? Now let's talk about what you should have said. Let's get into it. Okay. And so for my clients, it's important to say you want to reclaim your power, because what's scary about being let go is someone took the power away from you, the power of choice away from you. And so people will say, I feel shame. I'm embarrassed. I feel out of control. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, all right, well, we need to reclaim power in this situation. Because first of all, the fact was you were let go. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you're a bad worker. It doesn't make all of your skills and experience null and void. This is an isolated incident. And what we do is learn from isolated incidents. So this is what I mean about the moment of accountability. What we want to do in this scenario is look back and go, all right, knowing what I know now, if I could go do it over, what would I do differently? Kind of different from Groundhog Day. Remember the movie where he's trying different things? Okay. We need to think about what you would have tried differently, what you learned from that experience, how you grew as a person, because honestly, we love hiring people. When I say we, I mean HR, recruiting, hiring managers. We all love hiring somebody who's learned from a tough experience, because it's easy to be successful and not know why. I'm not kidding. Like, people will be successful and not know why. It's more powerful to have made mistakes and learn from those and be even better. So what I want to hear from you to say is, you know what? I'm glad you asked. Really hard. I got let go. Here's what happened leading up to it. Looking back, here's what I would have done differently. Knowing what I know now. At the time I thought I was doing all the right things, but here's what I would do differently now. This is how I've grown from the experience. And all I can tell you is that I really want to put it behind me, because I've learned from this. And I'm very excited to work for your company, because if you hire me, you're letting me close this chapter and move forward. And I'm going to exceed every expectation based on what I just learned from that. See, so what you're telling them is, hey, I can acknowledge that looking back, I should have done something differently. I've learned from that. Here's how I'm going to do it differently going forward for you. And here's how you're going to benefit, because I'm going to want to make sure that this never happens again and that I really put this behind me. So they're like, sweet, this person's going to be on their best behavior and then some, right? There's a lot of upside to hiring somebody who's been through something powerful like being let go. But we don't hire them until they take ownership. And ownership is simply saying, I can look at it and figure out what I would have done differently next time. That is what we're looking for. That's when you reclaim your power and prove that you can learn and grow from the hard experiences in your career. That's a powerful person. Someone who makes excuses, someone who won't take any accountability, that's not somebody I want to hire. That's not somebody anybody wants to hire, because that means you can't learn from situations, which is a red flag. So you need to talk about what you've learned from that situation and how you're going to hold yourself accountable in order for them to have confidence in you. And I can't tell you how many times I've coached people on this, because I have an entire course called Fired to Hired. And I take people through this and they're so worried about it. And we work it. And then they get an interview and they go on the interview and they answer that question. And they're like, oh, okay. And they just move on and they get the job. And they're like, it was that easy, JT. I'm like, yeah. Because if you're going to make it this big thing and be defensive and emotional, that's what you're going to get. But if you're going to make peace with it, learn from it, grow from it, and move on and focus on your skills and your abilities and all that you have to offer, that's what you're going to get too. So which lane are you going to pick, folks? Drama, insecurity, and failure? Or I'm over it, I learned, I'm better for it, let's do this. That's the difference right there. And that's such a big part of why you work with career coaches like my teammates and I at Work It Daily, because that can be difficult to get yourself through by yourself. You know, you're all in business for yourself, right? You all are businesses of one. I teach you that. But you shouldn't have to be in business by yourself, meaning you should have a board of directors, a board of advisors helping you, sounding board, navigating, choosing the right things to say in the interview. These are really critical things that make or break the situation. Why would you go it alone? Why wouldn't you get some help with that? Right? All right. Great question. Thank you. Awesome. So good to have y'all here. Again, quick shout out to my TikTokers. Remember, looks like TikTok's getting banned. Follow me. I am live right now. Shout out to LinkedIn. Shout out to YouTube. You follow me on LinkedIn or YouTube, you'll be able to keep watching the podcast live and watch the recordings as well. Awesome. All right, let's take a look at some questions here over on YouTube and LinkedIn. So I earned a master's in 2022 and I haven't secured a permanent full-time job. I'm applying to fast food retail jobs just to earn money while I continue to job search. How do I address being overqualified? Yeah, it's really a thing. You know what? I think we're lifelong learners. Let's start there. I think we're lifelong learners. And I think there are so many times when higher education is so important and can be so valuable. My challenge is with how many people are getting masters and spending thousands of dollars on them without making sure they will get the return on the investment. Please, folks, if this is a cautionary tale, do not get a master's. Do not pay for a master's if you can't absolutely prove that it's going to serve you. There was a time, I'm not going to lie, there was a time in our world, in our society, where getting a master's guaranteed you a better paying position. That is not true anymore. Not true at all. In fact, more often than not, unless you have a very strategic reason for getting that master's, say your employer's paying for it, you're using it for a specific job, for many people, that master's is not going to pay for itself. It makes you overqualified in this market. So I feel for a lot of my people out there that have advanced degrees that didn't tie it back in some way to make the value worth it. All right. If you are one of those people, if you are dealing with it right now where you're constantly being told you're overqualified because you have too many degrees, I'm going to give you some things to think about. First of all, I would not put master's after your name. I can't tell you how many people I see that are putting like Bill Jones, MS or Bill Jones, MBA. When you put the letters after your name, you are flat out saying, don't consider me for a job unless it requires the master's or the MBA. Majority of positions don't require those anymore. It's also seen as pretty pretentious, just so you know. So pull that off, okay? Secondly, simplify your education section. So, have your master's, have your bachelor's, but don't make it this big overdone section on your resume. Again, visually, you're saying, hey, look at me. I have all this education, pick me, and they're thinking, I don't need somebody with all this education. So while I don't believe in hiding your master's or your advanced degrees, because that can come up later that you have them, I do believe in simplifying. We have the most basic education section in our 6-second resume format at Work It Daily. Takes you less than 30 minutes to build this resume, has a 74% approval rating from recruiters right now. And the education section is greatly, greatly simplified for that reason. Makes it much, much easier. Now, when you're out pitching yourself, besides reducing the visibility and not saying master's, MBA, right? We're pulling that back in. You are also focusing on your connection to the company. So right now, what's working is, why do you get them? Why do you love their products? Why do you love their services? Why do you dream of serving their customers? What is it about their business model that lights you up? If you can't speak, this is called intrinsic motivation. It means it's the motivation that's going to self-motivate you to want to absolutely exceed every expectation. That's what every employer wants right now. They don't want somebody phoning it in. They don't want someone that's pushing a clock. They want somebody that's truly passionate about them. So when all these people have the same experience, and some people have excessive experience, and they all look the same, the person that wins is the person with the motivation that says, I'm going to come here and crush it for you. I am so excited. I nerd out on your products. I nerd out on your services. I love it. I want to be here. And they have their right to hire that. That's the truth right now. And if you're like, I can't get excited, then we need to work on that. Because the bigger problem, the bigger epidemic I see right now isn't that people are overqualified, is that they have no passion or connection to the work they're applying for, and therefore they're not being selected. Someone needs to hear this today. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else. If so, share it with them. The way you get hired in 2025 and beyond will be through your intrinsic motivation. You will need to prove to employers that you are deeply motivated to do this work and that you nerd out on it, you connect on it in some way, because they can't teach that. But what they know is that that's what gets them results. And when everybody has the same experience level, who do you pick? You pick the person that really wants to be there. You pick the person that gets lit up and excited. And that doesn't mean you have to be some sort of extrovert, folks. When you can talk knowledgeably and say, here's why I'm really excited about this, why I nerd out on it, you don't need some sort of extroverted personality to do that. But if you aren't sharing that right now, if you don't know how to connect with the company and its mission and its products and its services, you are missing out on your chance to be hired, because there's somebody else that's in that interview process that is flexing that, sharing that, showing that, and they're getting hired. That's the truth. So think about that right now. If you can't get excited about employers, if you can't get excited about what you're doing, you have a branding problem. You need to work with someone. You've got burnout. I have an entire course on this. This is how I know. 20 years of doing this, I'll have somebody come in and I'll be like, you're not in any position to job search. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, mentally, you're not there. Mentally, you've got problems, right? You are burnt out. And so your brand stinks. Your brand is so lackluster. Your brand is so not shiny and exciting and attractive. People aren't going to hire you. And they're like, what are you talking about? I've got the skills. I'm like, but you don't have the attitude. You don't have the connection. You don't have the vibe, and they're going to feel that, and they're not going to want you. And that's hard, because when you're depressed and you're frustrated, you're like, well, how do I get out of this? Right? Like, I've got to get out of it, but I haven't been able to get out of my own way. I know. That's why I built a Breakthrough Your Career Burnout course. Literally, I had to start getting people out of it, getting them to a place where they could actually show enthusiasm again, show excitement again. And all of a sudden, shocker, they're getting interviews and they're getting offers. Right? There's such a deep connection to that. And so if you're not there, you need to own it. You need to claim it right now and be like, she's right. I am not feeling it right now. I am frustrated. I'm sad. I'm tired. I'm depressed. I have no excitement for any job. I have no excitement for any employer. That's a problem. And folks, that's a you problem that we got to solve. We got to fix it. Because I promise you, in 20 years of doing this, when you solve that and you start to spark again and you get excited again, you attract what you put out. You put out a flame, you put out the spark, you're going to get the results. But right now, if you're depressed and demotivated and frustrated and anxious and angry and all these things that I'm saying, that's what you're giving off. And dare I say this, but the impression is you're damaged goods. And they don't want to buy damaged goods, and they don't have to in this market. They're going to buy the person that is like busting with enthusiasm and excitement and energy to do the work. That's the truth. And so you have to think about that right now. And you got to take stock in yourself and admit, and then get some help. You got to get some help. You got to get out of it. You got to get to a better place. So if that made sense to you, then you know where to find me. This is your week. Let's start fixing it, shall we? Let's make, like, I'm telling everybody right now, like, take your name and do hashtag your name 2025. And I've been doing that with a lot of my clients. Like, what does like the year of Bill 2025 look like? Mary, what does hashtag Mary 2025 look like? Let's go. Let's do this. Let's build it. Let's go. And you have to have that energy. But if you can't feel that for yourself right now, we have some work to do. You need to go through my Breakthrough Your Burnout class. Yeah, you really do. All right. By the way, this is so great. This is so great. Good to have you here. So if you are a member of Work It Daily, if you're one of our subscribers, our members, I love you. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today. If you are not a member of Work It Daily, I hope you go check it out. You can go to workitdaily.com and you can start with a 7-day free trial and get in there and go to an onboarding class and take a tour of the entire online facility. Come to all my live streams all week long, dive into the courses, get coaching, all the things you need. Here's something that I think most people don't understand. If you want to solve a problem in your life, if there's some big problem in your life you want to solve, any problem, by the way, any problem, you are going to need 3 things to solve it. And this isn't just me making this up, by the way. There was a study done at Harvard University about people that are the most successful at solving problems in their life utilize 3 things. Okay. And I'm going to break them down to you. We call them the 3 C's. Courses, meaning education, learning, closing your gaps in knowledge, right? Coaching, meaning mentoring one-on-one, somebody giving you feedback in the moment to keep you on point. And community, meaning you're not alone. You're surrounded with other people in a similar situation to yours so that it feels relatable and you can learn from people that are a little bit ahead of you, but also that you can teach the people that are a little bit behind you. That is a very empowering place to be. Okay. So you need courses, again, close your gaps in knowledge, give you aha moments, open new doors, new ideas, new opportunities. Coaching, you need that mentoring, that support from somebody one-on-one about your situation. And community, you need to be inspired by others and you need to be the inspiration for others. Okay. When you have those 3 things, it is proven you will get your results faster. Flat out. And it should make sense to everybody right now as I explain that. Is that right? Flat out. Courses, coaching, community, bring those together, solve your problem faster. That is how Work It Daily is built. 20 years of research going, you don't need to spend $1,000 an hour with a coach. Okay? All you need is a platform where all the members share the cost. So think of it. It's like a gym membership. You know how you get access to all the best classes and you get access to all the best equipment and you couldn't possibly put that gym in yourself and you couldn't have access to all that stuff? Well, same thing. Most people aren't sitting around with like executives who spend $5,000 to $10,000 a month on coaches a month. You're like, I don't have that kind of money. So you come into a platform like Work It Daily where you share the cost of the courses, of the coaching, and of the community. So you can get it at a super cheap price, elite level coaching, super cheap price, solve your problems faster. Because you need to be seen, heard, and understood. I talk about that all the time. In order for you to move the needle in your life, you need to be seen, you need to be heard, you need to be understood. And I guarantee you right now, whatever problem you have in your life, not just career, you are feeling invisible. You are not seen, you are not heard, you are not understood, you are not moving forward. The way for that to happen is to get the 3 C's, courses, coaching, community. When you have those, you will move the needle in your life. That is a fact. And that is why we make it free to try us for 7 days, because people don't believe it. They think we're some sort of like crummy platform. There's nothing going on. It's a scam. And then they get in there and they go, oh my gosh, this is nothing like what I thought it was. Because no amount of explaining it to you is going to replace you trying it. So if you're ready, as I said, 2 out of 10 people will hear this message today and go, I'm ready for the help. They're going to be ready. Head on over, grab your 7-day free trial. For the other 8 of you, hopefully I'll see you here on my next live. Speaking of which, I am live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Please go follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube. If TikTok gets banned, you will know where to find me. And you can watch all the recordings there as well. Yeah, awesome. You guys are great. Let's answer this question. How can we spot the ghost job if showing on their company website? It's a great question. All right, folks. So there's a big increase in ghost jobs out there. What a ghost job is a job that isn't real. And you will see them on job boards in particular. And the reason for that is job boards, the way they make money is companies pay them to post jobs. And so what they do is they prepay for job slots, meaning postings that can go up and down as needed. So a lot of times they will just keep posting your jobs, even if they're not open, because they want it to look like there's a lot of jobs on the site. Anytime you see a job, the first thing to do is go over to the company's careers page and see if it's on their own company career page. That's step one, okay? If you're not 100% certain that it's still real, what you do is go find someone on LinkedIn who works in the department. So if you know what department it might be in, go find someone in the department, not a recruiter, not an HR person. They are getting slammed right now. Go find somebody that looks like they work in the department. Ask them to connect on LinkedIn. Say, hey, can we connect? I have a quick question about your department, right? Now, when they accept your connection request, you're able to message them directly and say, hey, was hoping you could help me. I saw this posting on your site, but I think it might not be real. I think it might not be active is really the word. So you might say, I'm trying to confirm that this job is actually active. Would you be able to point me in the right direction? Most people will forward you straight to recruiter and HR, and that's how you can find out. And better yet, that's how you get visible. So ghost jobs are really a thing. You got to be careful right now. Don't waste your time applying online. Try to back channel your way there instead. Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Very good. Let's see. If we join Work It Daily, do we get access to the disruptive cover letter and job matching matrix on day one? Yes, Austin. If you join Work It Daily today in the 7-day free trial, right, you will get access to the disruptive cover letter, the 6-second skimmable resume, the resume template you can do in 30 minutes. You will get access to my entire LinkedIn tutorial. You will get access to the job matching matrix. You will get access to all the tools and resources. You'll simply go into the search bar. You'll be able to find all of them. Yep, you get instant access. Yes, you do. Okay. All right, team. Whew, this has been a good day. Listen, here's what you need to understand about job search. If you want your job search to be faster, you have got to speed it up. And you are going to speed it up by learning new things. You're going to put yourself in temporary productive discomfort, meaning you're just going to have to learn for a little while. And what it's going to do is open your eyes and your ears and open the opportunities up to what you should be doing so that you can get a job faster. That is what you need right now. If you agree with that, and if that makes sense to you, then you need to come join me and let me coach you free for 7 days. Go over to Work It Daily, grab your 7-day free trial, and commit to learning what you need to learn to speed this thing up. Okay, plain and simple. There's no magic pill. There's no magic wand. There's no fairy godmother coming to swoop in and save you. Okay, you need to be the hero of your own story. And you can be the hero of your own story when you take ownership. When you say, I will take it, I will claim it, I will put myself in temporary productive discomfort, I will follow JT, and I will get the results I'm looking for. And that's what you do with a risk-free 7-day trial. Try it free for 7 days. You can cancel it anytime, okay? If you're not ready for that, if you're like, I'm not ready to commit, or, hey, I just met this JT gal and I'm not really sure she's the real deal, I got something for you. We have built a free resource center. No credit card required, 100% free access with my 4 most popular webinars: the Job Search Bootcamp, the Breakthrough Your Career Burnout, the Professional Strengths Assessment, and the How to Choose a Career Path. These are 4 45-minute videos that you can listen like a podcast to. They are all inside my free resource center, and they are of no cost to you, no credit card. If you would like to do that, check out the link in my bio up here, down here, or go to Work It Daily and you'll see free job tools at the top, and you will be able to get instant access to that. People charge over $1,000 for sessions like this, but we're making it totally free, no credit card required, to prove to you we're the #1 career coaching platform. We truly are #1. And we are up against all these other scams, awful companies, failures that you've dealt with first. So I get it. You don't necessarily trust us. That's why we're giving you away this $1,000+ platform for free job tools. Just go over there and check it out. Okay. And then when you're ready to work with me and my team and we speed this sucker up and get you a new, better paying job, you will get a 7-day free trial to Work It Daily. You will become one of my members. We will take good care of you because you will be seen, heard, and understood, and you will get the results you're looking for. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Wonderful. Have a great rest of your day. I will be back tomorrow, same time, brand new topic, going to be a hot one, right? How to speed up your job search in 2025 tomorrow, going to be a hot one. Come back and see me there, okay? Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. Take care. Bye-bye.